In the Hindu tradition, the reign of Rama in Ayodhya, an era known as Ram Rajya, is presented as the historical and spiritual ideal of just and righteous governance. Through thousands of devotional retellings and cultural adaptations, millions of people feel intimately familiar with the story of this era. Yet within the vast textual tradition of the Valmiki Ramayana, there is a specific passage in the seventh book, the Uttara Kanda, that is almost completely erased from modern media. This is the story of Shambuka. We are going to look closely at exactly what the text says. Our goal here is to examine a genuine, centuries-long scholarly discussion, rather than rendering a moral verdict on Rama's character. To understand an ancient literary tradition, we must be willing to look at its most difficult and heavily debated material, rather than restricting ourselves to the comfortable stories. The episode begins when an elderly Brahmin man arrives at the royal court weeping, carrying the body of his deceased son. He tells Rama that a child dying before his father is a violation of the natural order, a cosmic disruption that only happens if the king has failed to uphold dharma. Seeking counsel, Rama is told by the sage Narada that somewhere in the kingdom, a person of the Shudra Varna is performing extreme ascetic penance. According to the strict social framework the text operates within, this specific act by someone of his lineage is identified as the transgression causing the Brahmin child's death. Acting on his prescribed duty to maintain the realm's cosmic balance, Rama travels in search of this ascetic and questions him directly. The ascetic identifies his lineage and his name, Shambuka, explaining that he is undertaking these austerities to reach the celestial realm in his current bodily form. After this exchange, Rama draws his sword and executes him. The text describes an immediate result. Celestial beings express their approval of the action as a protection of cosmic law, and the Brahmin son is instantly restored to life. The narrative presents a stark transactional logic. Restoring cosmic balance requires the violent enforcement of strict social boundaries. This reasoning is exactly why the passage generates such intense friction today. A substantial majority of historians and linguists agree that the Uttara Kanda was not part of Valmiki's original composition. This process of textual interpolation occurred as ancient texts evolved over centuries, with later generations writing and appending new chapters onto the original core. These appended layers frequently reflect the specific social anxieties and rigid rules of the later eras that produced them. We find evidence for this theory by looking at an undisputed earlier section of the epic. This relief depicts the story of Shabari, an ascetic woman living outside the traditional social hierarchy. In that core text, Rama honors and welcomes Shabari in her spiritual pursuit. That inclusive approach stands in direct conflict with the values used to justify the execution of Shambuka. Because the Shambuka episode offers such a stark representation of social hierarchy, it became a crucial point of analysis for modern social reformers. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar engaged with this passage extensively to critique how historical caste systems were justified in classical literature. This internal clash suggests the Ramayana consists of different historical viewpoints bound together over time, rather than a single, uniform ethical universe. This brings us back to our initial question: why is the Shambuka episode omitted from popular media? Modern storytellers often leave it out because they agree with the scholars that the passage is inauthentic, or because the episode cannot be reconciled with the compassionate nature of Rama they wish to project. While that omission is understandable, it obscures the complex nature of sacred literature. Ancient epics are layered accumulations of thought, representing centuries of ongoing conversation and debate by different communities. Acknowledging those layers, even the uncomfortable ones, does not diminish the cultural importance of the text. Engaging with the most difficult and contested passages is a form of respect. It treats the tradition as a layered history, capable of handling our hardest questions.